Good afternoon. Hello. Welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to dates in years past, both recognized by other historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the Smart Device application, Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music done by Carrera, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am A.O. Xander, and today I am joined by...
The Slayer.
And Protoblob.
Yep, the Big Fist and Good Job Blob. Today is January 1st, 2023. Happy New Year. How's everyone's year?
Happy New Year.
My year so far so
Happy
good.
New Year.
You know?
Very quick year.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's jump into the history, shall we? And, Brados, do you want to start us off here in the 153 BC? You there?
In the year 150... Yes, I am. In the year 153 BC, Roman consuls began their year in office.
And I see that. Okay, there we go. My connection is a little wibbly wobbly there. All right. And today's show is going to be a rather long show, so hold tight and get ready for an awesome ride here.
Yes.
Yes.
Do continue on, good sir.
In the year 45 BC, the Julian calendar takes effect for the first time.
Yes.
Nice.
And as we know, the Julian calendar is made by Julius Caesar. But we finally have
Golden Moon.
There we go. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Sit in for a bit.
Yeah, better late than never. So,
Yeah.
And I don't think you're going to be able to sustain the whole show because we have a lot of stuff here.
Oh yeah.
So-
I'll be here for some of it.
Yeah.
I'll be in and out.
All right. We got a third article for you, Mr. Brados, in the year 1. Which is, we're not talking about the movie, we're talking about the actual time.
In the first year of the 2023 years currently, was the origin of the Christian era.
Yep.
Which means nothing else than that it was the first year of the current calendar.
We're going to move on to Mr. Blob here. You got one in 104.
Alright, in the year 104, we have the triumphal procession for the Roman general Gaius Marius with the defeated Numidian king Jugurtha led in chains through Rome. Oh, that's not very nice.
That's not.
That's not very PogChamp.
Yeah. Like, look at my victory. Like, whatever.
That's
Like, hey, look
before,
at this guy that I beat.
that's before they had news services and everything, so the king had to show up personally to have other people believe he's defeated.
Yep.
This guy really went, get beaten.
Anyway, we talked about his death yesterday. Guess who's back now? In 177, Commodus, the son of Emperor Marcus Aurelius, becomes consul for the first time at 15 years old, then the youngest ever in human history.
Roman. Yeah.
Roman history, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he died in 192 on the 31st of December. So that's very interesting. He started the year. He started his political career at the 1st of January, and he ended it at the 31st of December.
Yeah, like many years later.
Yeah. Well,
So, but yeah, I think aren't these the people from the movie Gladiator, or the characters at least? It sounds familiar.
Marcus
Yeah,
Aurelius.
Yeah, Marcus Aurelius was the emperor who died, and then the
Yeah. And actually, in the year 404, the last gladiator competition was held in Rome.
So it went that long. Wow, that's a couple hundred years.
404 gladiators not found.
Yeah, 404. You got another one here in 990 talking about calendars.
Yes, Russia adopts the Julian calendar.
Yep. So let's see here. We were talking about the Julian calendar. So at 45 BC, and then 990. So that's what's 990 plus 45 is what 135 years later.
I was listening to math.
So the Julian calendar first came into effect in 45 BC,
Yeah.
and then in the year 990, it took effect in Russia. Russia adopted the
1044.
Julian calendar. So 1,000, yeah, not 100. So 1,044 years later.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a while.
No, that's 1,035.
34,
Yeah.
35.
Yeah.
Where did the 4 come from? Why are you screwing me up here?
Well. Oh, just because I can. Happy New Year! I'm back.
I'm clearly not completely recovered from last night.
Well, I just did a quick.
Yeah, but like
My guy did not
Took
recover.
1,000, I didn't get exact.
you're a broken calculator.
So yeah, news report on Xander. Yeah, he has not recovered from last night.
He may never.
Jury's still
he
out.
never recovers. He never recovered.
This affects me for the rest of my life.
His recovery is not the norm. He doesn't get to that point.
No.
Oh my.
Anyway, we're going to move on up into 1504. French King Louis XII lost the last bulwark in Naples, Cadia. So I guess
What the heck does that mean?
like a bulwark. So I guess a defense or whatever.
Yeah, I have no idea what bulwark.
Yes, it's a bulwark is a kind of a fortification, I think.
Oh, okay.
So it was his last thread, and then he completely lost Naples.
Yeah.
So
His last stand.
yep. We got another historic event here in the year 1515. France Duke of Angoulême succeeded King Louis XII as Francis I of France. Okay.
Yeah, a bulwark actually is a bastion.
I'm sorry?
A bulwark is a bastion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure, do you have a link? We'll post that in the underbar of the description at some point. So, if you find
All
one.
right.
But we have another one here in 1573. Goizen set fire to Waldrickheim. And what is that?
Yeah, if we don't know what it is likely cricket, but not today. It's the Geusen. The Geusen is the largely Calvinist Dutch guerrilla and privateering forces whose military actions initiated the Netherlands revolt against Spanish rule from 1568 to 1609. And that's according to Encyclopedia Britannica.
Okay.
And Wittichem is a city and former municipality in North Brabant, Netherlands.
So the Spanish were occupying there, and then they just burnt down the city in rebellion.
The guerrilla set fire to the city.
Yeah. All right. I think we are back at you with more calendar updates here.
Mr. Brados, please.
Oh, Brados? Okay.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Brados. Sorry. I'm sorry, Brados. My brain's not
Oh, you're
working.
good. It's all right. In 1583, the first day of the Gregorian calendar in Holland and Flanders.
Oh, well, look at that. So going from the Julian to the Gregorian.
Yeah.
So, all right.
What is Ned
1500s.
Flanders? What the heck is Ned Flanders doing there?
Trying to convert people to Christianity like he always
I
does.
diddly do, neighborino. I diddly do, neighborino.
Or to the Gregorian calendar.
Yeah, Flanders.
We got another one here in 1600 even.
In the year 1600, Scotland begins its numbered year on January 1 instead of 25 March.
Oh, that's interesting. So obviously
Oh,
they
I
were
read up
switching
on
to some
that.
other calendar or something. I don't know.
They just started.
The whateth.
They started the year at the 1st of January then instead of the 25th of March.
The January 1st instead of 25th.
Yeah.
25th.
20 big 20 fists. Number.
20. In the year 1622, Papal Chancery adopts Jan 1 onest. Gen 1 as beginning of the year was March 25th. Mar 25.
We
So
want
it
to
looks like-
apologize. But, we didn't give Bratus his oats today.
Yeah. Well, first off, I was so prepared to say, 400 years ago. But no, not anymore. I can't do that.
Yeah, 401 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also I'm seeing that, like, so whatever was going on the 25th of March, the Papal Chancery was doing the same thing as Scotland. So maybe that's some kind of, like, Papal... Well, Gregorian calendar was a Pope calendar. So maybe they're... that's confusing. Huh.
Well,
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out because, like, they both started at 25th of March. It looks like right here.
yeah, the 25th of March was actually when the year used to start.
Okay.
But there were only 10 months then. And that was in it was celebrated during the time of the vernal equinox in Mesopotamia at around 2000 BC, and that apparently was adopted in many what is it called places.
Yeah, so it sounds like this is an update of the Gregorian calendar then. It used to start on March 25th. I haven't looked into that.
Well, it was
Oh,
only 10 months, you know, so yeah.
The Mesopotamian, not the Gregorian.
Okay.
I put a research channel so you can put it in the underbar.
So that
Yes.
that particular year, the 25th of March, lined up with January 1. That's why the 25th. The year
Okay.
before it was probably something else,
Okay.
a different day. It
All right.
wouldn't have lined up every year.
That's very confusing. I'm
No,
glad we don't have to deal with that. It's already been done. So
It was the March 25th was the beginning of the year, and then they changed it to the January the 1st.
Right.
Anywho, in 1651, Charles II Stuart crowned King of Scotland.
Ah.
And as you know, the current King of the United Kingdom is Charles III.
All right.
So, in 1660, the first entry in English civil servant, in English civil servant Samuel Pepys' diary.
So it's the first entry in his diary. That could have been worded a lot better. The first entry in the diary of English civil servant Samuel Pepe.
Pepys.
Yeah.
Pepe?
Pepys.
Yes.
Pepitos.
He chronicled the Great Plague of London, the Second Dutch War, and the Great Fire of London.
Oh, damn.
And also was member of Parliament and Navy Administrator.
That's a lot of stuff to be in control of.
Busy guy.
Yes. And in 1672 we have Jean Racine's oh my god, I cannot say that. Jean Racine's Bajazet premieres in Paris, or something like that.
We got the Jean part really good.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only part I know how to pronounce.
We also have 1 year later, in 1673, on the 1st of January, regular mail delivery began between New York and Boston. Well, look at that.
Yeah.
Start getting regular mail. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. They're still late.
Yeah.
Oh my, Boston did something useful.
Every dog has its day, you know?
Yeah,
Indeed.
those three things still exist, by the way, New York and Boston, but the regular mail delivery doesn't.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Mail never rests.
Joke. It was a joke. Because the mail always is delivered irregularly. No.
Yeah. Then in 1700, Protestant Western Europe, except England, began using the Gregorian calendar. So there we go. So more usage of, because like when you think about it, like, you know, there's been so many civilizations, so many cultures, so many different, you know, like different things of measuring things. Like, you know, like even today we have like the great battle of metric versus imperial.
Yeah.
And really the world should be using metric. We already have unified time, numbers, you know. We still have, like as I say, metrics for distances, so miles versus kilometers and stuff like that. But the very aspect of, a unified calendar for the most part is astonishing. The whole world, because and that's what allows the world to go around, is our ability to communicate, not necessarily in language, but in logistics,
Well, some
Yes.
religions in the Middle East are still using a different type of calendar. It's like an every 15-day or 18-day cycle, something like that.
Well, yeah, there's still those that are going
Muslims.
around,
Yeah,
well,
Muslims.
the Chinese, they have their own New Year and all that
Yeah,
stuff, so,
yeah.
there's still other things, but as far as, something everybody uses, we have that now.
Yeah.
Like, other people, they do use other things, like, as you just said, but this
As
is a
long as
unified
you're-
thing.
As long as you're social dominant, it lasts. If it doesn't, then your calendar won't last.
Well, the fact that, it doesn't matter who's in control of the calendar, the fact that we have a unified calendar to unify the world, is I find it really interesting.
Yeah,
really
no,
cool,
it is.
You know?
I'm just saying, but you can lose that very quick.
Oh, yeah, so you can lose anything really quick.
Yes.
But speaking of stuff like that in 1700 as well, Russia began using the Anno Domini, the AD versus BC AD time era, and no longer uses the Anno Mundi era of the Byzantine Empire. So more calendar changes right there. So right there,
Yeah.
AD BC, and
Yeah,
You
Anno
talk about
Mundi
the,
was the
rock-
calendar according to the
AC/DC?
biblical creation of the earth. So in Anno Mundi, we would have the year 7,531 now.
okay, yeah, that's a pretty long time. So essentially, Christianity, as far as its impact on the timeline, was like a reset button. It just reset
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
point
So
at
that-
the beginning.
The Byzantine calendar placed the date of creation at 5,509 years before the incarnation of Jesus,
Dang.
and so on.
Yeah. So every few thousand years we need an update,
No, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you got another one here in 1710. Or is it my turn? Is Blob there?
I think Mr. Bratos is sleeping, so I'll take
I'm right
over.
here. I was gonna say I'm right here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot. I thought
Sorry,
Blob,
I zoned out.
my brain is
Sorry about
complete
that.
mush. What is wrong with me today?
No,
Braden,
you're good.
1710?
In the year 1710, Paris merchant Jean Marius obtains a 5-year royal privilege for his invention of a folding umbrella,
Ooh,
first in Europe.
nice.
Huh.
That
Convenient
makes
thing.
sense. It took him that long in a rainy climate to finally invent the umbrella?
Folding umbrella.
Well,
The following.
Yeah, the foldable one.
what's an unfolded umbrella?
One that won't fold.
It's just a solid object.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what
Yeah.
I was expecting,
You know,
honestly.
like you put in your drinks, you got that little umbrella, they don't fold.
Yeah, they do.
Oh my.
Anywho.
You got me, I got you.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mr. Blob.
All right. So in 1724, glassblower Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit proposes a system for making thermometers and the Fahrenheit temperature scale in a paper to the Royal Society of London, and is elected a fellow of its basis.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but that will never take off.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Now there's something we haven't
At least-
unified.
At least not in
Celsius.
That goes along with what I was talking about, the metrics.
Yeah.
I was talking about,
Yeah.
inches to
Yeah.
to millimeters,
Yeah.
miles to kilometers, Fahrenheit to Celsius.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that the world has yet to unify. And the U.S. is really the only standout. North Korea is the only one that uses imperial as well, to my knowledge. So it's just
Yes.
us and them, and that kind of doesn't make us look in a good light,
Yeah.
All right. In 1739, Jean-Baptiste Charles Bouvet de Lossier discovers Bouvet Island near Antarctica.
That's a heck of a name right there.
Yeah.
Bouvet. But yeah, that's cool.
Bouvet Island.
Probably that's why he goes by JBC, because
Yeah.
nobody wants to speak his long name. And in 1758, the International Commission on Zoological Nomenclature. How do you I know what it means, but how do you pronounce?
Nomenclature?
Alright, establish the starting point for standardized species names across the animal kingdom based on the binomial
Nomenclature.
by Carolus Linnaeus, 10th edition of Systema Naturae.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Wait.
yeah. We also have, in 1722, the first travelers Czechs, go on sale in London, can be used in 90 European cities. Yes, that is the origin of Czechs. Remember when Alice always says that?
Yeah.
That's the origin right there. Because we spell Czech differently. You know, Czech,
yeah.
like travelers checks and such. Like, you know, these are the money checks.
Yeah.
So I read it just thinking Czechs, you know? So
Yeah.
I thought it was French, and it's like, and I'm like, wait a minute, because we did this last year with Alice. You know, like, as I said, this is where it comes from. So I looked it up, and it was like London, but what is French word doing in London? Oh, it's Czech, like money check.
Yeah.
That can be used in 90 European cities, so that makes more sense. And ever
So-
since then, that's where the meme Czech comes from. So,
That means the Jacquard was invented exactly 250 years after the first traveler's check.
I believe so.
But 1772,
Yes.
come on, the concept of traveler's checks, that's pretty early.
Yeah.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
Yes.
3 years later, in 1775, on January 1st, English potter Josiah Wedgwood wrote that he has developed his famous Wedgwood blue color in a letter to Thomas Bentley. I guess that's just like a color hue. Let's check this out here. Wedgwood blue images. So I guess that's
Oh, that's
okay.
it. Okay.
Yeah, let's get a bigger picture. That is a pretty pleasing blue. So
Yes.
yeah,
That's that whole
Yeah.
style that has that.
it's George Washington. You think?
Yeah, it looks like
It's Gog. It's Gogi. It's Gogathy, Washington.
Coca-Cola Washington. Good lord, man.
Gogathy.
Oh, speaking of Coca-Cola Washington. look
Speaking
who's
of the
next.
goat, here he is.
Yes.
The goat himself.
Look at that. George Washington, they put him on pottery.
Yeah. 1776, General George Washington hoisted the Continental Union flag.
Nice.
Yeah.
76,
Yes.
of course.
Yeah.
Union flag.
Awesome.
That doesn't look good.
Whoa.
What doesn't look?
That's the
Uh-oh.
Grand Union flag. Continental Union. Hold on.
Oh.
1776. Yeah, I don't think we
Oh,
had.
jeez.
Well, I don't know. Maybe this was the original.
Before the stars.
Before-
They've got
You
the
know.
British in there. That's the British
Well,
flag.
the Australia flag still has it.
Yeah.
Like,
That may be what they originally started with before they.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense because this is well before the establishment of the United States. Before we had the stars representing the states. We were not states. We were colonies.
Right.
We were
Right.
we were separate city-state individual countries under a union.
And in
So-
1776, we just declared it. We were just going
Yeah.
to war.
That's actually a great coincidence because
Well,
yeah,
I guess.
because
Go ahead.
because as we will also speak about later on the show, Betsy Ross was also born on the 1st of January, who actually seems that.
Ah,
That's gonna be cool. I'm thinking that so I'm trying to piece together the meaning of this flag. So obviously, the British thing would be like where we come from,
Right.
and then of course the stripes are the 13 colonies as it remains
right,
today.
Right.
So this would, I guess, represent us back in that time, in
Right.
the most accurate way. So it
I've,
does
I've never seen that flag before. as
Yeah.
far as part of
with the
United
Union
States.
Jack, yeah. So
Yeah.
you think there would be like a more French thing than British, but I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I think we're going back to Bratos here.
In the year 1781, 1,500 soldiers of the 6th Pennsylvania Regiment, under General Anthony Wayne's command, rebel against the Continental Army's winter camp in Morristown, New Jersey, as part of the Pennsylvania Continental's Regiment Mutiny of 1781.
Yeah, this was
Common
because
USW.
the revolution ended in what 1782. Like we spoke about this
I
yesterday.
believe. Yeah.
So, there, I remember, and if they talk about it in the movie The Patriot, but there was some problems with paying, paying the Continental Army soldiers and everything.
They had a real hard time.
Yeah,
paying them.
yeah. So like it was a struggle beyond just like facing the strongest military the world had ever seen at that time. It was pretty much down to like the only payment you'll get is the satisfaction of knowing that you're fighting for rights. Yeah, that pays the bills. That feeds my family.
Yeah.
So really rough. It really puts in perspective. Like what we're going through today is pretty bad too. But back then, chips are down. People got to get to it. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, Mr. Brados, you have another couple here.
In the year 1785, the Daily Universal Register, Times of London, publishes its first issue.
Huh. So the London Times, or the Times of London, or whatever, if they're still around. I think the London Times are still around. That sounds like a very big one.
Of course it is.
Yes.
So their
Makes
first
sense
issue
if it
all the way
was,
back then,
yeah.
so dang.
Dang there, yeah. In 1788, London's Daily Universal Registrar becomes the Times.
Well, look at that. So just 3 years later, they do a name change, a rebranding. Cool.
It's on the same day.
Yeah, on the same day. Well, I mean, like, as I said, earlier, like, today's show is going to be long because a lot of things, not just politically, but in ways you can't even fathom, come into effect, on, January 1st. Like, like when I decided to start the whole project of doing the whole year-long show, it's like, when to start it? Well, when's the best time? January 1st.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a fall-on date, So, but anyway, Mr. Blob.
All right. We have another one in 1797.
Yes.
Albany replaces New York City as capital of New York.
That's interesting. So,
In the year 1800, we have a big one. The Dutch East Indies Company dissolves.
Good.
And 1 year later, in 1801, the dwarf planet Ceres is discovered by Italian monk Giuseppe Piazzi.
Cool. So Ceres, isn't that either some? It's either a moon or isn't that one of the things in the asteroid belts?
Yeah, it's a
Ceres.
dwarf planet.
Dwarf planets. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Ceres. Is a dwarf planet in the asteroid belt between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Yeah, so it's one of those. It's like a protoplanet.
Looks like a moon.
So yeah,
Kind of looks like a moon.
it is essentially like it's not a space station.
It actually looks like our moon, but with less craters.
Yeah, kind of.
Or with smaller craters.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
that's
wonder.
pretty cool.
I wonder how big it is compared to the moon. So, but we don't really have time to do like a lot of digging and researching live on air. We gotta go. We have a lot of articles here. So.
Indeed. Alrighty.
Blob, you got another one here, an 1800 one as well.
Okay, I did 3, but
okay.
do this. So the Irish Parliament votes to join the Kingdom of Great Britain, forming the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland in 1801.
Ah. All right.
I didn't know it was that recent. I would have thought that was back further.
And actually, evolution of Union Jack. It's really interesting how their flag changed. So, like, we have here the St. George's Cross, England, and then the St. Andrew's Cross, Scotland. Merge those two to have the flag of Great Britain. And then you bring in the St. Patrick's Cross in Ireland, as we're saying here. We just said that.
Yeah.
So you see, boom, boom, boom. So
Yeah.
3 flags combined into one. There's a Union Jack.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's kind of cool.
yeah.
Although the only thing I think would be, I know it would be a little overkill, but I think it'd be pretty cool if they added the Welsh dragon to the front, in front of all of it.
No, you know what they should
Because
do?
if it weren't, huh?
They should have a small, like, right dead center, the Isle of Man, the 3 legs.
Yeah. But honestly, though, like, if it weren't for the Welsh, England wouldn't be where it is today. Because the Welsh they invented England. They're the reason that country exists.
Oh, let's see, Welsh flag.
The Welsh are the original. They were the original British.
Oh yeah, so this flag. Well, that would be
you're saying
very
they
British.
contributed a great deal to the Brits.
Yeah, well, like that is very
Yeah.
British right there.
Yeah.
So,
And the thing that burns me is that the current British do not acknowledge them as British
Wow.
when they actually are the British. The guys you see there are not.
Now, I
They're
have a
just
question.
wannabes.
Was that pun intended? Because we're talking about a dragon, the thing that burns you?
Yeah, yes it was.
Anyway, we also have in 1804, Haiti gained independence from France National Day, making it the only state ever founded by former slaves and without slavery. That is cool. Go Haiti.
Hey.
So, yeah.
Go Haiti.
And then 1 year later, 1805, the world's first iron bridge opened to the public, crossing the Severn River at Coalbrookdale in England, regarded as a symbol of the Industrial Revolution.
Really cool deals here.
So let's see, world's first iron bridge, 1805. So let's see here. Let's see if there's a picture or something of it to see. Oh, the iron bridge will definitely.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, look at that. So yeah, that's a cool bridge.
It looks like a hat. It looks like it's just built around a half circle.
Yeah.
See how look
You
at
gotta
it.
remember
Like it looks like a
that's iron,
half
not
circle.
steel.
Yeah.
Big difference. Iron is so much weaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can
Oh,
see,
yeah,
like, they have a whole
100%.
bunch of structural supports
Yeah,
and everything.
they
Like,
have to have all that support.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool. So this is the
And
one
if they
that
don't, it's just gonna break.
is this opened in 1781? So, well, it said public, so maybe this is like, maybe it used to be like for industrial use only, or something, like to cross for like carriages.
Possibly.
I don't think trains existed back then.
You don't think so?
In 1801 or 1805.
I don't know.
When were trains invented? Railways existed as early as 1550. What?
Yeah, but
Okay.
train.
These pathways of wooden
They didn't
rails called
really.
wagonways were the beginning of modern rail transport, making it easier for horse-drawn wagons or carts to move along dirt roads. But those are railways.
Yeah.
When was the first invented train? 1804. So,
So no, those bridges wouldn't have been before that.
well, it might have been because this is 1 year after. Well, no, like not
The
within
first-
this. So maybe it was more for like the horses and such.
Yeah.
And then
James-
they opened it up
James-
to the public here.
James Watt patented the design for the steam locomotive in 1784, and the first full-scale working railway steam locomotive was built in the United Kingdom in 1804.
Oh dang,
Oh, so they have been around quite a while.
huh?
Sweet.
And I'm going to take this 1806 one real quick. Napoleon Bonaparte abolished the French Republican calendar after 12 years of use. And this
Didn't
is
last long, did it?
no, and he pretty soon, shortly after, he's going to start his little wars with all of Europe. He's going to start conquering and everything. So let me turn on a light here so we're not completely in the darkness. I can't open my window because you can tell it's very bright. So, anyway, Mr. Bratos, 1808. This one here. Ooh.
Alrighty. In the year 1808, Congress prohibits importation of slaves.
Good.
Good.
Yep.
In the year 1818, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus, is published anonymously by the small London publishing house of Lackington Hughes, Harding, Maver, and Jones.
LHHMJ. Haven't heard. So I wonder if they're still around. Let me look that up. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So Frankenstein published.
Frankenstein.
Yeah. Or, as it said, the modern Prometheus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just saying Frankenstein. So I guess it doesn't still exist. I'm not getting a whole bunch of stuff. So it looks like the publishing company didn't last that long, but the book they published certainly did.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the book lasted forever.
Still going.
Yeah, it's still kicking. Yeah, it's a good story.
Yeah.
It's a very good read. Yeah. In the year 1818, official reopening of the White House.
This is after it was burned down during the War of 1812.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yep.
Yep, the war that we almost lost, but then we were just like, we're just gonna...
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're just gonna not lose. So.
I mean, then again, in our defense, we didn't have a very big army at the time. We also, because we had really cut down the army size to focus more on our economy.
We essentially dissolved it. Like there was only like one like a company maybe left.
Yeah.
Like we just had something, but
Well, a lot of it went back to the colonies or states.
yeah,
To have their own
militia.
militias. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's in the Constitution that they're still allowed to keep them.
Yes.
Yeah.
One more, I believe.
Anyway, in the year 1831, William Lloyd Garrison publishes the first issue of abolitionist journal, The Liberator. Publication continued until the 13th Amendment abolished slavery in the year 1865.
All right. So good. So he was publishing a constant journal against slavery, and then eventually slavery was abolished. So
Yeah.
That's good.
fight.
Good. I mean, the book works. The book did its job.
Yep. As did a lot of books have done their job. Like
Yes.
Animal Farm
Yes.
brought in the FDA. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Mr. Blob.
Yeah. In 1833, the British government demands the Falkland Islands.
Huh.
In
We want the Falklands. Give it to us. Give me a belt.
Yeah. In 1834, the German customs union goes into effect, and they used to use a word here, Toluni, that must be from some very strange language, maybe Dutch, but that's not German and it's not English.
Yeah, let me look it up here real quick, just for hee-haws. German Tolony. Tulane University. Oh, well, that's something else. Hold on.
Yeah.
Translation from Dutch into German. So I guess it's Dutch.
Yeah.
But you looked it up. You said it was a trade union?
It's the German customs union, the Zollverein, for the import toll. What is it called in English? The customs,
Tax?
When you import stuff.
Oh, importation tax?
Not a tax. Well, he's not talking about a tax. He's talking about the bureaucracy.
Customs. Customs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
It was an economic union of the German states that lasted from 1834 to 1919. That was formed to manage tariffs and economic policies within their territories.
Good. Yeah. Industrialization, stuff like that.
Tariffs were huge.
Yeah.
That's the only way the federal government ever made any money in the United States back then was through tariffs. There was no personal taxes or anything like that on people.
Maybe we should go back to that.
It wouldn't hurt.
And it as a interesting history, I guess. So we put it in the underbar.
All right.
All right. In 1838, that's what I tried to say, the first official horse race in South Australia, Adelaide.
So that's the first official horse race ever in 1838. So
Yes,
let me double
as
check.
far as I am.
First official horse race. The France horse race was held in 1651 as a result of a wager between two noblemen. So that's the first ever horse race, but this is the first officiated one. So the first one with an actual structure and stuff around it.
Right.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
Leave it to Australia, right?
And I'd still pick an egg.
We also have here in 1840 the first recorded bowling match in the U.S., Knickerbocker Alleys in New York City.
Ooh, bowling. Are you
Bowling.
kidding?
Huh.
How about that?
Steve, right? It'd never take me bowling. I don't like bowling. It makes me angry.
Well, I'll bet you back then it was 5 pence, not 10.
How do you know this? Like, bowling
I don't
different?
know it. I said I bet you. I'm not sure at all, but I believe the original was 5 pence, smaller ball.
No bowling. 9.
9 pence.
9. In the early 1800s, a modern game of bowling with 9 pins first appeared in the U.S.
Well, maybe it's 9 pins, not 5. Because now it's 12, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, like, 5 is very small, so 9 is
Yeah.
good, and then 12 you just add more. So. We also have here in 1842 the first illustrated weekly magazine in the U.S. published their first issue in New York City. Illustrated weekly magazine. That's cool.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
That goes back a long ways.
Oh yeah. Then Brados looks like he's AFK, maybe, not sure. And yes, he is. So Blob.
All right. In 1847, Michigan is the first state to abolish capital punishment.
Cool.
Huh.
That's interesting.
So no more death penalty in Michigan.
No?
Yep.
In 1852, the first United States public bath opens in New York City.
So public like a cleaning bath, like not like a bathroom, but like
Yeah,
the
they're
Roman baths.
Yeah, Roman baths. type
Yeah.
of thing. Yes.
Yeah. And they had something like that on the Titanic too.
Yeah,
They had,
I think
like, Turkish baths and such.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's a recreational bath where we have that in Germany where you can pay and you just swim there, and there's a lot of people, and it's either in a hall or outside. I think it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Well, I remember in England going to Bath and all the Roman baths and everything. They have it there. That was really interesting.
Yeah. I'd like to go give that
Yeah,
a look too.
like they have swimming pools and stuff, and
Yep.
I think it's something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anywho, in 1853, the first practical fire engine was entering the service in the United States, and it was drawn by horses, of course.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So 1853. Let's see here. 1853. U.S. Fire wagon. Let's see if there's something like that. Huh. Yeah. Look at that. Let me figure that for us. That has a motor. Never mind. Hold on a second. So I guess it's a fire wagon. What did it say? Practical fire engine. First practical fire engine, 1853. So let's see here. Oh, so it was steam powered. But no, it was horse drawn.
It said horse drawn, yeah.
Yeah, horse drawn. So I guess, well, what's with the steam? I guess pressure? But that doesn't look like horse drawn at all. This looks horse drawn. But it still has the big old smokestack, but you can clearly see where you attach the horses. So
Yeah.
so I wonder why, like, so that's the same thing. So that is horse drawn. But why is there a big old chimney?
Well, I don't know about the chimney, but wouldn't that be to carry water? You gotta bring it to the site. Couldn't hook it up.
Yeah, well, no, this whole container is obviously for water. I wonder if that's maybe like the same how they fill the train engines. They have that as the thing just to dunk it in there.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
all right,
If you're gonna guess, that's a good guess.
yeah. Anyway, let's move on up into 1862. This is interesting.
All right. In 1862, the United States income tax was first
Implemented.
put into motion with 3% of incomes for more than $600 and 5% of incomes tax for more than $10,000.
Huh.
And the camel's nose was under the tent.
Yep. Yeah.
Look at it today.
Yeah. Yeah. The saying goes. Do you have the saying?
What?
The camel's nose.
Camel's nose is under the tent? Yeah, once
Yeah.
it got in with the tax, it just keeps growing and growing and growing.
Yep. A camel's nose under the tent. A small, seemingly innocuous act or decision that will lead to much larger, more serious, and less desirable consequences down the line. The term refers to an alleged Arab proverb that if a camel is allowed to get its nose inside of a tent, it will be impossible to prevent the rest of it from entering. So, yeah.
Yep. I remember sales tax in this wonderful state of California was like 2% or something
Oh, man.
when I was a kid.
Yo, you want to see something nuts? Like I was just, the other day when I was filling the gas,
Yeah.
I was just looking and it said federal tax 5 cents,
Yeah.
California state tax 40 cents.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
the
yeah.
hell is wrong with California, bruh? Like, ridiculous.
I could tell you, but then
Well, I already
it goes more longer.
Yeah. But hey, we got the Emancipation Proclamation. You did your 3, right? Or is this your 3rd? Bluff?
Yes.
Okay. Have you done 3
18
already? I really need to count.
Oh, I did my 3. What is your turn?
We have the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. It was issued by Abraham Lincoln to free the slaves in the U.S. Confederate States during the Civil War. So, it wasn't abolishing the slaves and doing all this moral, righteous stuff isn't the reason why we entered the war, but it soon became the reason why we need to win the war. So Abraham Lincoln knew how to dance around things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And at that same time, Franz Schubert's Missa Solemnis premiered in Leipzig. I can't pronounce that.
Leipzig.
Leipzig, yeah, that one. We also have another historic event here in 1869. During the War of the Triple Alliance, Paraguay's capital, Asuncion, fell to Brazilian forces led by General Joao de Souza da Francisca Costa. A hell of a beard there. So it almost looks like he has just like a solid egg of hair completely around his head. So, but dang.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's go back up into Blob.
Right. In 1877, Queen Victoria is proclaimed to be the Empress of India.
Ah, cool. Not to be confused with Queen Victoria II, of the Y-Files, who probably should be the Empress of India. I don't know.
Well, she was the queen of.
In 1879, Johannes Brahms' Violin Concerto in D major premieres in Leipzig.
Ah, another premiere in Leipzig. Cool.
And in 1880, building of the Panama Canal begins.
Oh,
Yes.
there's a biggie.
Now, I don't believe that's like the U.S. involvement because there were so many nations. Like France tried to do it. Some other people have tried to do it, and then the U.S. came in and it was painful, but we did it.
Right.
But like, how long did it take to build the Panama Canal? So let's see here. It was the greatest infrastructure project the world had ever seen, with the 48-mile long Panama Canal officially opened in 1914. After 10 years of construction, it fulfilled a vision that had been tempted for, but 1914, so 10 years, 1904. It started in 1880. So we're talking about the actual U.S. involvement right there.
Yeah.
How long did the French try to build the Panama Canal? They started in 1880, so right there. Malaria, yellow fever, and other tropical diseases conspired against the De Lesseps campaign, and after 9 years and a loss of approximately 20,000 lives, the French attempt went bankrupt.
Good grief.
So, yeah, as I said, the French and the U.S. and I think there were a couple other people who tried, but it took from 1880 until 1914. So that is 34 years.
When did they widen it?
When did they widen?
Because it was going to become obsolete. It wasn't big enough.
By the way, if you take the planning into consideration, the earliest record regarding a canal across the Isthmus of Panama was in 1534. When Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor and King of Spain, ordered a survey for a route through the Americas in order to ease the voyage for ships traveling between Spain and Peru.
So the Panama Canal has been a thought as far back as the Roman Empire. He said from Constantinople, right? Like that is bananas, bro.
1544.
Yeah, the Eastern Roman Empire. Wow.
No, the Holy Roman Empire.
Go back that far then, because that's the only way you can figure it out.
Oh, definitely.
By locks.
Yeah.
So when did they widen it? Does it say right there?
Well, I've looked, and it says here 2016.
Okay, that's
recently.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure, because like you're probably thinking of like more earlier dates. Because ships have always been getting bigger, so they might have had a widening, and they might have done another widening, and then they're actually in the process of doing yet another widening right now. So, But let's move on up here to 1881. We have Ambrose Bierce was appointed editor of the Wasp magazine. All right. And while that was happening, Dr. John Watson was first introduced to Sherlock Holmes in a story written by Arthur Conan Doyle. Huh. So Sherlock Holmes' little sidekick.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have in 1890, the Rose Parade, which was then known as the Tournament of Roses, was first held in Pasadena, California.
Well, wait a minute. It's not called the Tournament of Roses anymore?
Well, it's not
No,
official.
that's-
They still call it
that's
that on
something-
TV, but
That's something else.
the Tournament of Roses?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Oh no, the Rose Parade, then known as the Tournament of Roses. Yes.
Yeah. So no, this is the parade, not the
Not the football
Not the
game.
football.
I understand that. Yeah, the Tournament of Roses
Yeah.
was the parade.
So they probably retained the name, but they changed the official title to the Rose Parade, but they call it the Tournament of Roses still because of posterity. I don't know.
I don't know, in 1890, you think one of them would have died by now?
I don't know. But we also have. I'm sorry.
No,
In 1895, Aguinaldo became a Freemason, joining Pillar Lodge number 203 in Imus, Cavite. Okay. Revolutionary and first president of the Philippines. So that's probably aided into him getting in that power right there. But
a Freemason. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, you get a good one here.
Yes, in 1896, German physicist Wilhelm Röntgen announces his discovery of X-rays. And in Germany, they are still named after him, Röntgenstrahlen.
Yes, and actually they talk about Roentgen radiation. They spoke about it during the series Chernobyl. They said the robot could survive 3 Roentgens. So he sent it in, and it's not the correct number, but it wasn't going into an environment of 3 Roentgens. It was going into an environment of 15,000.
Oh.
So direct exposure
Yeah.
to a nuclear core and the meltdown function.
Yeah.
That is as much radiation as you can get.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You have 2 more here, good sir.
All right. One moment. Where are we? Here, 1902.
Yes.
The first Rose Bowl Tournament Park, Pasadena, California. Michigan beats Stanford with 49-0. Most valuable player, Neil Snow, Michigan FB. That's
Oh. Yeah.
FB means.
Yeah, no, it's cool. So the first Rose Bowl. So after the Tournament of Roses by 12 years.
Yeah, but what does FB mean?
Forward back? No, that can't be right. FB. Brados, you're not here. Why? Help us. Come on. You're the football guy. You literally played it.
Read it in the sentence one more time.
Oh, there you go.
yeah, Rose Bowl.
What is an
Yeah,
FB?
FB,
Fullback.
football, probably.
Fullback.
Football, I imagine.
Fullback?
Fullback.
Think
Back
of,
in the
oh,
day,
yeah,
you would've
fullback.
The
called it
position.
Fullback.
Back when
Fullback,
fullback
okay.
was actually a prevalent position.
Okay. Yeah, so
And
Neil
also-
Snow of Michigan is fullback.
Yeah.
49-0 though. That is a pain, dude. They got wrecked.
You know,
Yeah.
Yes.
I will
And-
say, fullback is a dying position. Like,
Yeah.
it is slowly dissipating.
Yeah.
I feel like we need more of them. We need more fullbacks.
You're right.
And also in 1902, Nathan Stubblefield makes the first public demonstration of radio in Pennsylvania.
Oh, well, that's cool. Well, yeah, we were talking about during our live stream yesterday, the 1922 was really the year of the radio. So 20 years before that, this was the first public demonstration. So that's really cool. Because 1922, it was January 1st, 1922, I think. Actually, no. Well, not January 1st. We would have covered it today. But it was in the Januaries, I think early Januaries, when radio was first put into the White House.
Okay.
So, and a lot of
And that was
stations
a demo.
opened. Yeah,
20 years earlier.
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, whose turn is it? Okay, I think it's Brados. If you're back, we have a 1903 one for you.
Royal coronation in 1903 in Delphi. Delphi. A great Great Durbar, or formal reception, marked the coronation of King Edward VII as Emperor of India. The British released some 16,000 prisoners in honor of the occasion.
Nice.
Except for the prisoner thing.
What?
Oh wait, they might have been prisoners that were wrongfully thrown in.
Yeah. Yeah, like,
Well, then,
yeah.
But yeah,
Or maybe, maybe it was like, from like a war or something. But this seems to be peaceful. So, I don't know. Huh.
yeah, we don't know. In the year 1902, President Theodore Roosevelt, Edith Roosevelt, unveiled new renovations to the White House, including a new West Wing.
Yo,
Including a new West Wing.
Yo, you're kind of hard to hear. You're like way back or something. But I kind of heard you.
Oh.
For those who didn't hear him, it says 1993 President Theodore Roosevelt and Edith Roosevelt unveiled new renovations to the White House, including a new West Wing. So the West Wing.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep. I don't know.
Yes.
And then before you continue, I'm actually going to do the split here real quick. Badoop.
I got some work to do, so I'll talk to you later. I'll try to catch some of the show a little bit down.
All right, thank you for joining Golden Moon. All right, we shall see you again soon.
Yeah, thanks.
No, he'll be back.
And this brings us to our new sponsor, Established Splits, based on an old Scottish custom where splits are made before the time runs out.
Oh my god.
You're established by established big this.
I'm gonna establish like an establishment. I don't know. Anyway, Mr. Bratos, you have another one here in 1906. Is it this one? Yes.
In the year 1906, Dutch law makes driver's license mandatory.
Good, as it should.
Good
And
on that.
we gotta bump the age up from 16 to 23 or something, you know? That's just me. Although that would kind of screw you, Brados, but I guess if you prove that you can, because Brados, you're a good driver. So, like, you know me, I am very anal retentive when it comes to driving, and you have my trust. So, there would be exceptions, but
Yes.
most people at the age of 16, like, seriously, like, they have to ask to go to the bathroom, but you're giving them the ability to drive a 2-ton death machine with controlled explosives that could kill anybody, like, that's madness, in my opinion. But,
Yeah, well, you're a child.
Well, that's the Netherlands. In the United States, it would probably violate the Second Amendment.
that is a decent argument. Maybe we can talk about that on the Kick Peanut this Sunday, or next Sunday. We'll see. Anyway, Mr. Blob, it's your turn here in 1908.
Yeah, I just want to say, if you require a license for a car, what's next? You need a license for a gun?
Yes.
In 1908, Jack Hobbs makes his intentional debut in England's second test win over Australia at the MCG, scoring 83 and 28 in his 2 innings. Goes on to becoming the leading run scorer and century maker in first-class cricket history.
Cricket.
And there you have it. If we don't understand what's going on, it's cricket.
Yep. It is a language all its own.
Yes. And in 1910, British naval officer David Beatty is promoted to Rear Admiral.
Yep. And I believe that was important. I kind of remember researching this a little bit last year when we were doing this.
Well, there seems to be something wrong with our bloody ships today.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what he said. 2 of them had exploded in the Battle of Jutland in 1916.
It's I think this was like he was the first one to be in the position of Rear Admiral. I'm not sure, but I do know for certain that he was very known for wearing his cap crooked. As we see in the picture. It's his signature look. So.
Yes, that's true.
Yep.
And in 1912, Sun Yat-sen forms the Republic of China.
Oh, that's cool. We're going to move on up into 1913. The U.S. Post Office began parcel post deliveries. So not just letters now, but now they're delivering boxes and such. So that's pretty cool. And 1 year after that, 1914, on January 1st, the first scheduled airline flight from St. Petersburg to Tampa, Tony Janis is the pilot. So that's awesome. So way back. Like,
Yes.
yeah. And then we also have, as well as 1914, the St. Petersburg-Tampa aircraft line became the world's first scheduled airline, as I just said, covering the 18-mile distance 23 minutes, in 23 minutes. The service ceased after 3 months. So I wonder why they have the same article in twice. That's weird. Like, it's literally the same thing, but with more information.
Yes, but it omits in one thing that Tony Janis was the pilot.
Oh, well, you'd think it'd be really easy to, like, combine those two into one article and then highlight it because, it's kind of significant. Like,
Yeah.
I've been saying this for almost a year now. Like, I have got to, like, email this source and be like, yo, I volunteer my time to help clean up this mess. But, as I said, we're getting extremely busy on our end, and I have a lot of ideas, so I might not even be able to fulfill that anymore. Oh, well. Anyway, Mr. Brados, you got one in 1916. Here we go. That's interesting.
In the year 1916, the first blood transfusion using sword and cooled blood is performed.
You're distant again. Are you doing something? I don't want to intrude on your life.
Oh no, you're fine. No, I think it's just my
You sound like you're walking around in the background in your room.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna amputate.
You didn't eat enough oats today, I think.
All right, well, let's just go up to Blob then.
All right, I just wanted to say who is storing blood. That sounds like vampires, but okay. In 1917, T.E. Lawrence joins the forces of the Arabian Sheikh Faisal al-Hussein, beginning his adventures that will lead him to Damascus by October 1918.
Lawrence of Arabia.
Yes.
Very big figure in the First World War. Did a lot of stuff against the Turks, in the desert against their railway attempts, and was a really big thorn in their side. And I would argue that if it wasn't for him, the war probably would have lasted a little bit longer, especially in the Arabian area. I don't know.
Yeah. In 1919, because we talked about him before, British naval officer David Beatty is promoted to full admiral.
Ah, okay. So,
And at the same day, yes?
Go ahead.
And at the same day, Edsel Ford succeeds his father Henry Ford as president of the Ford Motor Company.
Ah. And as we know, Ford stands for one of two things: found on road dead, or fix or repair daily. Pretty sure there's other acronyms, for that. Oh. And no offense to Ford lovers, but keep in mind, there's people out there who like Apple too, so you might be wrong, you might be right. Just, look at your options. We're going to move on up into 1923. The Union of Socialist Soviet Republics was established. The USSR. And yeah, we have a 1 century ago show I'm going to be doing here in about an hour or so after we're done with this. But yeah, I'm going to be talking about both 1923s here. So yeah, keep your eyes out for those. I'm going to move on up here into 1924. The Großdeutsche can you read that, please?
I will just take that.
Yeah.
Die Großdeutsche Volksgemeinschaft Völkische Block replaces the NSDAP. That's the Nationalsozialistische Deutsche Arbeiterpartei, Hitler's party.
Oh, okay. So whatever this party is replaced Hitler's party. But then didn't he rise to power again? So
because he went to jail, but then came out of jail 5 years later, and you know.
Okay. And then took over the German Socialist Party. I see.
Yeah, he founded a new one, I think, but I'm not entirely sure.
No, I don't think he founded the what eventually became the Nazi Party. I think he joined it, and then eventually he just rose and became the leader of it. So I do remember now he did have his own thing going on. It failed, and then he joined something else already established, and then he led it to success. Or, you know, like, we all know history. Yeah. But anyway, do continue on, good sir. 1925?
Anywho, in 1925, here we go again. Australian cricketer Bill Ponsford becomes the first batsman to score a century in each of his first 2 tests when he hits 128 against England in the second test in Melbourne. Australia wins by 81 runs.
All right. Go Australia, I guess.
So that's probably a lot of runs, but we don't know as we don't play cricket.
Yep. Cricket. Not even cricket wireless.
But they have cricket wickets, so check those out.
Cricket wicket?
In 1928, the first United States air-conditioned office building opens in San Antonio.
Nice.
That's Texas.
Yeah. Texas. They need it, so...
Yeah.
Could you imagine, like, living in a time without air conditioning? Like, oh my god. Like...
Well, I mean, they had water conditioning before, but that was a bit bad because only fish could work there.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. But at that
Also
same time... Go ahead.
Oh yeah, also in 1928, the Allgemeine Vereinigung Radio Omroep, AVRO, begins broadcasting in the Netherlands.
Oh, so it's
And
Canadian.
they also sponsored a very famous chess tourney, one of the strongest in, I think, 1938.
Cool. 2 years later, we have 1930. Jurgens and Van den Berg merge with Lever Brothers to form Unilever. Alright, what is Unilever? I'm going to look that up here real quick.
The very big food company.
Yeah. It is a British multinational consumer goods company with headquarters in London, England. Alright.
Also, you don't have to eat their totally great food in America.
Well, we have delicious food, but that doesn't mean it's nutritious or healthy or, sometimes even tasty, actually. But, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they are also the largest producer of soap in the world and other stuff, so yeah.
Huh.
Well,
Well, people need soap. Well, we got a historic publication here in 1932, and I am going to just completely destroy this word. Sorry in advance, Blob and the rest of your countrymen. Rasse und Siedlungschaftsamt published Himmler's wedding laws. What the hell is a wedding law? But
it's a Rasse- und Siedlungshauptamt. That's very bad people there. It was for race and settlement, literally translated.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's Himmler. He's a leading Nazi and, Reichsführer of the SS. Heinrich Himmler, one of the worst people who have ever existed.
And if I recall it correctly from my education, which was like 20 years ago, the wedding laws were so you could only wed non-Jewish people, like...
so it's segregation and stuff, I see.
Yeah, it's very racist laws, very horrible laws.
Not surprising, though, coming from him. But then 2 years after that disgusting thing happened, 1934, Alcatraz officially became a federal prison. So yeah, it used to be a military outpost and then became a federal prison. Nice. And then now it's just a landmark to go and see for an exorbitant price. What's up, Blob?
I thought you continue.
Oh, 1934, International Telecommunication Union was established. So, ITU. See, International Telecommunication Union, yeah, ITU, still going around. It is a specialized agency of the United Nations responsible for many matters related to information and communication technologies. It was established on 17th of May in 1865 as the International Telegraph Union, making it the oldest UN agency. So it says here, so this is when the rename in 1934, I guess.
Yeah, and I think this time I didn't count.
Yeah, well, I thought it was 4, but whatever.
Yeah, anyway, in 1934, Nazi Germany passes the law for the prevention of hereditarily diseased offspring. Das Gesetz zur Verhütung erbkrankten Nachwuchses, or also known as the sterilization law.
Yeah, more disgusting stuff. Let's move on, please.
Yeah, it forced a medical procedure of sterilization on, what it says. So it was
Kind of
essentially.
like how China's doing to a lot of people there, and Middle East countries are doing stuff to women too. So,
Yeah, so essentially it was genocide.
yeah. So,
And where are we next? 1936. Yes.
1936.
The first newspaper to microfilm its current issues, the New York Herald Tribune.
And we know that microfilm was invented, I believe, in 1922, if I remember last night correctly. So, 12 years later, newspapers started using it. So that's really cool.
Yeah. And in 1937, safety glass in vehicle windscreens become mandatory in Great Britain.
Good. You don't want
but
bugs in your teeth and stuff.
What's next with all that safety stuff? Requiring a driver's license? Oh wait, we had it already.
That's already established. Established licenses.
Our new sponsor, based on an old Scottish custom where you can do nothing.
1939, speaking of automobiles, Hewlett-Packard was founded by Bill Hewlett and David Packard in a garage in Palo Alto, California, the birthplace of Silicon Valley. It's not too far from where I'm at, like half a state away, so that's really cool.
Which makes Silicon Valley older than the modern computer.
Yes. Yeah, so, true. We also have an appointment of interest in 1941. Russian General Georgy Zhukov appointed Chief of General Staff. Yep. He's portrayed really epically in the movie Death of Stalin. And, so... as someone would say, our boy Zhukov. Pardon me. Hold on a second.
Zhukov.
What?
Do I sound distant now?
No.
Do I sound okay? So I don't sound as distant now. Okay.
No, I can hear you better. And sorry about that. You know, when you gotta sneeze, you gotta sneeze. So.
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah. But we also have in 1942, U.S. and 25 other countries signed a united declaration against the Axis. So, yeah, I'm not. I don't even know what to say. So, because we have a German, I'm just like, watch out, Germany, the Allies are coming for you. So.
Actually,
the people that wear red, white, and blue are coming.
Actually, as a German, I welcome the Allies coming for us.
All right.
All right, cool. I mean, it was basically red, white, and blue versus red.
Red
versus
white,
red
black.
and black. Pretty much the whole deck.
Yeah.
I think we got that wrong a bit, but okay.
Okay, a little bit of green. A little bit of green and white. We'll dabble that in there as well.
And brown, and you should go to 1946. Because Hirohito announces the obvious in 1946.
Brados.
Yes.
Your turn, 1946.
Zeus!
Zeus!
In 1946, Emperor Hirohito of Japan announces he is not a god. Yeah, no shit, you know this. Nobody here is a god, except for Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. No, what about Morgan Freeman?
Oh yeah, Morgan Freeman and Chuck. Okay, Morgan Freeman, Keanu Reeves, Chuck Norris, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, by the way, in
Ryan Reynolds.
In 1946, also Chuck Norris announced he is not Emperor Hirohito.
The first thing that went through my mind was from that movie Road to El Dorado. It's tough to be a god. That song. So. It's tough to be a god.
Haha.
Haha.
Godhood.
Speaking of God of War, Brados, you have another 46 here.
1946. ENIAC. The U.S. first computer finished by Mockley/Eckert.
Nice. ENIAC,
Computer
1946.
gods. They better be good.
And of
Look at
course,
that.
the term ENIAC stands for
ENIAC stands for
Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer.
yes. It was the first programmable electronic general-purpose digital computer. Completed in 1945. There were other computers that had these features, but the ENIAC had all of them in one package. It was Turing complete and able to solve a large class of numerical problems through programming. That's really cool.
It's just its own little. It's just a giant box.
Essentially, I mean, like there's a crazy picture out there. Actually, hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it. 1 gigabyte then and now. So let's see here.
Yeah.
Images.
Of course, other computers were used before, such as in cracking the Enigma in the British secret operation in Bletchley Park.
Yeah.
Gigabyte
So
used to be a huge box.
Yeah, like this is 1 gigabyte of storage right there, and then now you can have terabytes in a thumb drive. You know?
Yeah, like in just a tiny little object, like the size of your pinky.
Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. 1956, 5 megabytes right here. 2019, 1
Yep.
terabyte. You know.
Yeah. It just shows how far we've come.
Yeah, and how far we'll go. You know, who knows where we'll be in like another 50 years. Like,
We won't even need an SD card.
Miniaturization eventually doesn't,
Yeah.
But, one more.
1948, the first color newsreel film in Pasadena, California.
Nice. Go Pasadena. Oh, and Blob, your turn now, and you start with cricket. How lovely.
Yes, but it's okay because we talk about him again. Australian cricket master batsman Don Bradman scores 132 on the first day of the third test versus India. Follows up with 127 no in second innings. Whatever that means. Australia wins by 233.
Yeah, I think
And-
127 number or something. I have no idea. It's cricket, as we always say. So.
Yeah,
Cricket, as we're holding a coffee mug.
it's cricket and their language is weak.
Cricket.
Cricket. Ha 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 ha. Yes,
Like,
you gotta make that. That's your job. That's your. I'm giving you that job, Brados. You gotta make that.
Yes, we need to make that a thing. That should be the first thing we do on the OMNI Coalition meetup. That has to be the first thing we do.
Yeah.
We all just show up with a mug, cheer, cricket. Ha 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 ha.
We just talked about Donald Bradman, and in 1949, arguably cricket's greatest ever batsman, ex-Australian captain Don Bradman is knighted. The first time a cricketer is bestowed with an honor solely for his contribution to the game.
So that's really cool. You know, let that be a lesson to people. Never give up your dreams because you can still be knighted even in weird things like cricket. You know, but that's awesome. Like,
Yeah. Be the
Yeah.
greatest and be knighted.
yeah.
Too bad Italy is not real.
What the hell?
What did I hear?
No, it's Australia that's not real. That one YouTuber who's like solely devoted to proving that Australia is just a conspiracy. Like, so,
It's like I know people from there, or are they just from New Zealand?
oh, they're being paid by the CIA to say they're from there.
Yeah,
I
no,
believe in
that's-
Australia, guys. Don't worry, I'm not crazy. Well, I am, but not that crazy. Well, maybe. You get
We
what
at least know. I mean, it's kind of obvious that it exists on the map.
Yeah.
And anyway, in 1950, the Vietnamese communist revolutionary Ho Chi Minh begins his offensive against French troops in Indochina.
Yep. Because
Just
France was
French.
too busy still reconstructing after the Second World War. So, like,
After getting put back together thanks to the U.S.
yeah. Well, and Britain, they helped.
Yeah, and the U.K. Well,
Yeah.
we did it better. We did it with more enthusiasm.
That reminds me of like that one meme I saw, like British troop seeing a U.S. Guy with a trench gun turn the German front line into fucking meat confetti. Like, oh my god! And sorry, I keep bashing. I'm not intentionally bashing on the Germans. I'm sorry. Like, it's a World War I meme.
We did do that though. We did turn them into confetti.
Anyway, sorry, Mr. Plug. 1952. I feel so bad.
It's your turn, Kratos?
Oh, it's my turn? Or...
Ayo?
Oh, my turn? Okay. 1952, we have Dmitry Shostakovich completed his fifth string quartet. And I believe that is the first Russian name that I actually pronounced correctly, if I can talk right. Dmitry Shostakovich. So.
Dimitri.
It's Russian, yes, not German.
Oh, we've seen him quite a bit on the TDH.
Oh
Dimitri.
yeah, we're starting a whole new other one. Here we go again. So, get ready to get Shostakovich. And then in September, get ready for tennis. Here comes Wimbledon. Oh fuck. But then we have in 1954, NBC broadcast the first live color U.S. coast-to-coast telecast, the Tournament of Roses Parade from Pasadena, California. Well, look at that. California making more history. That's cool.
Yeah.
California being useful.
I know, right? It's rare, but it happens. So.
Indeed.
At that same time, in 1954, Rose and Cotton Bowl were the first sport color cast. So, yet another example of you can merge the two into one, But, yeah.
All I can say, there's only one college team that is not allowed in the Cotton Bowl.
What?
Bama.
We'll
never allow them into the Cotton Bowl. No, because they have too many good players. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were meaning something.
They're not trash enough. Oh no, I was referring. They're not trash enough to be in the Cotton Bowl.
Oh, okay, but you said Alabama, right?
Yeah.
You don't see a different other correlation there that might be bad?
Oh, I know what you mean. But I'm not referring to that.
Okay.
I'm not talking about that thing. Don't worry. I'm not being that guy.
Okay, good, because apparently that's my job, because I was apparently being that guy.
No, I am that guy, but I don't feel like being that guy today.
Well, that's
First
all right.
day of New Year's, and I'm being controversial.
I'm the town's asshole. I'll be that guy. But anyway, we got who just came back.
Yes, I did.
Welcome back, Golden
And
Blue.
who isn't in the Cotton Bowl? I missed the tail end of that.
Oh, Alabama. He was saying don't let them be in the Cotton Bowl because they're too good. So
okay.
Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah.
I don't like, and I just genuinely dislike Alabama for very good reason.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll jump on that bandwagon just for fun.
Alabama wagon?
Yeah. Alabama wagon?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hide.
In 1954 as well, Yugoslav Parliament Chairman and Vice President Milovan Djias criticized communism. Huh. I'm pretty sure that didn't work out well for him. So.
Well, especially when it was a communist country at the time under Russia's thumb.
Well, he died on April 20th, 1995, so he lived. So
he was expelled from the party in 1954. Arrested in prison in 1955.
So he didn't get away with it, but they did.
After that, in 1956, he had to go into exile.
Well,
that sounds about right.
Stand up for what you believe in. Like don't be a stepping stone. So.
Well, he was lucky he lived.
Yeah, that's why. He was very lucky he lived. So.
Anime is only real if you don't believe it. So believe it.
Remember the boxing move?
So. He just starts boxing.
Yeah. Wham, 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 wham. So.
Wham.
Brados. I believe it's your turn again. 1957.
The year 1957. An Irish Republican Army, IRA, unit attacks Brookborough RUC barracks in one of the most famous incidents of the IRA's Operation Harvest.
Oh wow. So,
It
Operation
sounds like a club, the IRA.
Operation Harvest, IRA. Let's see here. Border campaign. The border campaign was a guerrilla warfare campaign carried out by the Irish Republican Army against targets in Northern Ireland with the aim of overthrowing British rule there and creating a united Ireland. It was also referred to as the Resistance Campaign by some Irish Republican activists. Huh.
That was a vicious war.
Yeah.
And the RUC, that was the Royal Ulster Constabulary. It was the police force in Northern Ireland from 1922 to 2001.
Okay.
Huh. I'll just see
So
Victoria. I'm not sure if you're still watching, but thank you. Sorry, I was responding to her live chat comment here.
Yeah, thanks. So it was essentially police barracks. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, I got another 157 here, Mr. Brados.
Ah, music history, interesting. In the year 1957, Benjamin Britten's ballet, Prince and the Pauper, premieres in London.
Now I've actually heard about that one, Prince and the Pauper, the Poper or something. That's the one where they switched identities, right? Like,
I don't know.
like when the prince wanted to see what it's like to be living as a peasant, and the peasant wanted to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And here you go.
In also 1957, France returns Saar to becomes the 10th state of German federal rep.
Huh.
Yeah,
What does that mean?
Saarland. It's a Saarland. It's the 10th state of the German Federal Republic.
Oh, okay, so it's like a county or something. I get it. Or a province.
It's similar to a United States state,
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
but it's a very small
That's what
one.
y'all call
The-
or
uh,
oh wait, oh yeah.
and we also do the same jokes about it as you do about Alabama. So
Oh,
so,
God.
so SAR is literally just Alabama, but Germany.
SAR is German Alabama. Good lord. Where? Let's. I gotta look at this. Where is SAR?
Okay. Correction. Alabama is the American version of SAR.
Oh my god.
oh my god.
Yeah.
Germany was around first.
Yeah. That is a good point right there. So I see. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we're
right
just-
on the border with France. So yeah.
I think we're just everyone's so familiar with Alabama, so they wouldn't even acknowledge that SAR was first, or that SAR existed.
I guess
prior.
that Alabama out-SAR'd SAR then.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Les.
Blob's turn.
All right. In 1957, Georgetown, Penang becomes a city by a royal charter granted by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Where is that? Georgetown, Penang. That sounds out in the Asian area. Something?
Sounds Australian to me.
Georgia City in Malaysia. So.
Malaysia?
Huh. Let's see here. No, I don't want images. I want maps. There we go.
Georgetown was down in South Africa.
Well, no, there's a lot of Georgetowns.
Well,
There's
one in
George.
the U.S. too.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's the
Malaysia,
capital
okay,
of
so it's all the way down there.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
All right.
the capital of Penang in Malaysia.
All right.
Yes.
Grug.
And,
All right. And as you all know, Queen Elizabeth II died recently on the 8th of September 2022.
Yeah.
Sure did. How old
Liz.
was she? 100 and what? Was she 100?
She was queen for 70 years.
Yeah. Longest ruling British queen.
yeah, not the longest ruling monarch ever. That goes to King.
British, I said.
Yeah, and so there's a difference. They were
Yes.
saying longest British ruling monarch, yes.
Yeah.
The longest monarch ever, no.
Yes.
So,
Someone
Oh
else
yeah,
asked
yeah,
about
not
a
even
year or
close.
yeah, well, actually, like a decade.
Oh,
It was
really?
King
That
Louis
long?
XIV, I
two. She
think.
was 70-something years, wasn't she?
King, longest ever monarch.
Yeah, something like 83 years or 86 years. I don't know.
King Louis XIV served as monarch for more than 72 years after taking the throne at the age of 4. So,
I will say, King Charles III right now, I don't know if he'll last much longer. He might live another, because, I mean, knowing how Queen Elizabeth was, because she lived for a long time. She had a very, very long life.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Charles could very well have a long one. Well.
She was a strong woman. She was a nurse in the Second World War and stuff, and she actually she actually had a life. The prince was a pampered guy, Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it tells you a lot when she didn't abdicate the throne for him.
Yeah.
She wouldn't do it.
Yeah, but she was not just a nurse in the war. She also went to the front lines too.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she was a badass. Like she had a life. So, yeah.
Yeah.
She was really,
like she's a legit tough leader. Like she's a very strong leader.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, whoever's turn it was, you have another one here. I think it's Brados, 1959.
In the year 1959, Cuban dictator Fulgencio Batista flees Cuba for the Dominican Republic.
He's a Cuban president and dictator. So this has to be, Fidel Castro.
Took over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Bay of Pigs and everything like that for us.
Yeah. But I see one more here. I just saw it, in a passing glance. Another one. This is almost tailor-made for you, Mr. Brados.
In 1959, Chad becomes autonomous republic in French community.
Nice. Go Chad. The country that actually looks like the meme, which is kind of wild. So.
It really does.
It does.
I've seen a picture of it. It does.
Chad country meme. And see, somebody they even painted all the African provinces into the meme. So, but there's Chad. And Chad the country actually looks like the Chad the meme. That's kind of crazy.
Now it looks like, it looks like Chad, but it doesn't look like Giga Chad.
No, Giga Chad is a whole other thing. So.
Yeah, he's a whole other level of Chad. He's S tier Chad.
Are you guys talking
about?
No, we're talking internet culture. It's cricket to you.
Exactly.
It's me. It's meme culture.
But talking about one Chad to another, we have established Chaddles. Good job, Blob has one in 1960 here.
I have. In 1960, Johnny Cash plays the first of many free concerts behind bars at the San Quentin prison in California. Merle Haggard among the inmate audience.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Merle Haggard was among the inmate audience?
So he was in jail at the time.
Yeah.
Oh.
How about that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, I know a bar that Kid Rock goes to do karaoke. Or, well, one he attempted to go to, and then he got kicked out because they wouldn't let him sing. And I met the lady who kicked him out, and I can see why he wouldn't want to be there, because she's pretty snotty. I don't like her. Yeah.
Their loss, They could have rolled all that coattails really good.
And then he proceeded to walk down. There was another bar 3 buildings down, within 100 feet of the other one, and then he sang there. And those people were very welcoming of the guy. And little does anyone know, Kid Rock is just a good old boy.
Yeah. And Haggard was actually impressed by Cash and his music.
Yeah.
So that's why he started his career.
Yeah, so
that inspired him?
Yeah.
I love that story.
And he was going down the wrong road and it straightened up his life. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
This is why everything is important. You don't know what little thing might, just change your life one day.
That's the info of the day as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
It's going to kind of make this next one seem, not as cool, but Mr. Blob, you got one here in 1962.
Oh yeah, I was just saying he didn't break and entering and was sentenced to 3 years in prison.
Oh wow!
Now they're just
and
out
then,
the next day.
Yeah, well.
In 1960, he got out and then started in the country scene in Bakersfield.
Cool.
Yeah, that's so great. That is just so great.
Yeah, so later on that very same year.
And look at the great music we got out.
Yeah.
Everybody wants
Yeah, no, I know the.
Yeah. See, this is why benefit concerts and charity things, legitimate things, going and actually doing services to your community. Johnny Cash, free of charge, playing, created Merle Haggard.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of another band, in 1962, the Beatles' Decca Records audition is unsuccessful. They are told guitar groups are on the way out.
Huh.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
And-
sure.
Yeah, and nothing was heard of that boy group again.
Yeah.
In 1964, Top of the Pops British pop music television program premieres. Acts performing include Dusty Springfield, The Rolling Stones, Dave Clark 5, The Hollies, Swinging Blue, and what?
What?
Wait a minute, the
Hold on a
Beatles?
second there. That's weird. Huh. The
Yeah.
Beatles are making a joke.
Wait. What?
Huh. Well, I guess it wasn't on the way out. Huh.
Well,
Like how they highlighted the Beatles. Well, not the Beatles. They didn't highlight the
Stones.
Beatles. They highlighted the Rolling Stones. I mean, big band. They were a big name there in that
Oh,
time.
yeah.
But
The Stones
I think
were huge.
the Beatles.
yeah.
Well, actually, I think all of those fellas, all those bands.
Yeah, the
all should be
Hollies,
highlighted
Dave
in my
Clark
opinion.
5, they were all
They
all
should be.
bands,
They
yeah.
They were
should all be
huge.
clickable links. Yeah.
Swinging
Yes,
Blue, I never
they,
heard
I
of
believe
them.
they should be.
Yeah.
Swinging Blues. I don't know about Swinging Blues. I don't even know who they
I
are.
don't
So
either. That's the only one I don't know of.
I'm your Venus, I'm your fire at your desire.
Dang.
That's the Swinging Blue?
Yes.
Oh.
Ah.
Isn't that the jingle for like a shaving razor for women, or no, for some?
Wow. I have no
this is a shaving razor for.
Well, no, like some feminine product or something. They use that song in their jingle.
idea.
So the commercialism is drilled its way deep into my brain.
Oh my god, no, I confused it. That was Shocking Blue, not the Swinging Blue.
Okay,
Okay.
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 Oh, okay.
So the Swinging Blue is still unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know
They
about
got a
Swinging
mention,
Blue.
so they have some fame. If not just in anything else, but just here.
I don't know. Anyway, we're going to move on up to 1965. 49-year-old former England international soccer forward Stanley Matthews became the only player to be awarded a knighthood while still playing Stoke City. I bet he was stoked there, dude.
Yeah.
You know? It's
Oh
pretty
my
cool.
god. Oh my god, they messed it up. It's
Goat.
not Swinging Blue, but the Swinging Blue Jeans.
Oh, Swinging Blue Jeans. Wow, so they left an entire word out.
Yeah.
But still doesn't help us.
I still haven't heard of them.
I got the shake, I got the hippie shake.
Kind of.
Oh, okay. Hippie,
Yeah.
hippie shake.
Oh, okay.
Ah, okay.
Well, speaking of
Yeah.
hippies, 1965 as well, U.S. actor George Murphy began his term as Senator of California. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, gonna move back up to Brados here, and I believe in 1966. Yeah, here we go.
In 1966, all U.S. cigarette packs have to carry caution. Cigarette smoking may be hazardous to your health.
Oh,
Yes.
You think? Yeah, I remember that well.
Or, better quoted, warning, the
This-
government thinks you're too stupid to realize that sucking in a bunch of smoke that makes you cough is actually not good for you.
And then they got real serious a few years later and said, instead of saying maybe,
It
put
is.
down it is. Ooh, now they've scared everybody.
Yeah. Well,
Yep, and then people still smoke it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
nobody cares.
Here
Didn't stop them.
Here in Germany, we have different labels on the cigarette boxes. So when you're suicidal, you just buy the one that says cigarette smoking is deadly.
Huh. Oh. You got another one in 66. This guy with
Ah.
this massive throne.
In the year 1966, military coup by Colonel Jean Bedel Bokassa in Central African Republic leads to his dictatorship.
Yep.
Yeah.
And here he
And
is
his-
being crowned Emperor of Central Africa atop a golden throne in 1976. So 10 years later. That is elaborate.
What a goober.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
We talked about his coronation on apparently already the 4th of December. And that cost $3 million, and which was more than a third of the country's budget in 1977.
Yeah, I remember talking about that. A third of the entire country's economy, was spent on his coronation as emperor.
Yes.
You want to talk
Oh,
about
hey, there's,
outrageous?
Yeah.
So.
There's two big ones. This 67 is a big one as well.
Ah.
Oh, okay.
Well, do you want to take those two here?
Oh, yeah, sure. In the year 1966, Simon and Garfunkel's Sounds of Silence reaches #1 on the Billboard Hot 100.
And
That's a good song, it really
Great
is.
song. I
Yeah.
don't know why they listed it, but great song.
Yeah. Well, this is to give an example of the Sound of Silence. This is it.
No, Sounds of Silence is the studio album, and Sound of Silence is the song.
Ah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, here's the Sound of Silence. Oh,
Nothing.
just air. In 1967, AFL Championship, War Memorial Stadium in Buffalo. Kansas City Chiefs beat the Buffalo Bills 31-7. Quarterback Len Dawson passes for 2 touchdowns. That's it? Really? That's nothing.
Haven't heard of him forever.
Only 2. And then running back Mike Garrett runs for 2 touchdowns.
Ooh, great SC player, Mike Garrett.
Kind of funny for what you called them, despite them completely trampling Buffalo Bills in that game. But
Yeah. That was also back when Buffalo wasn't much good. Now Buffalo is in the AFC the team to beat.
I can't even, other than the last few years, Buffalo was always in the doghouse. I can't ever remember being.
Oh yeah, they still are. They're still the top dogs of the
No, now
AFC.
they are, yeah.
no, he's talking
Yeah.
about like in the doghouse as in bad.
Bad, yeah.
Hey. Oh, I just seen Denver just got their stuff together. They almost beat the Chiefs again. They lost by
Really?
3 points.
Wow.
Yeah, they got it together. They booted Hackett, and now they're actually playing really good. Now my boy Russ is cooking.
They
Nice.
just started too late.
Danger Russ.
I
Russ
don't think they're going to make the
playing.
playoffs, are they? I don't think so.
Oh no, they're not in. Not even close. Now they play the Chargers next week, and then the end of the season is inevitable. I think they'll beat the Chargers. With the way they played against the Chiefs, I think they can beat the Chargers. There's no reason they don't.
Fastly approaching our second hour on the show. We're still in 1970, so we got to start getting our hustle on.
Sure.
So,
Okay. Yep. Sounds good.
Mr.
In the
Block,
year. Oh, sorry.
In 1970, we have the epoch, quote unquote. It is time 0 for Unix systems, midnight GMT.
Huh.
So that's midnight GMT at the 1st of January 1970.
Nice.
Hmm.
The
All right.
epoch.
Yeah, that's where they start counting the time, those systems.
Yeah.
In 1971, cigarette I cannot talk. Cigarette advertisements are banned on TV.
Yep, remember that too.
And that's really cool because remember, like many years ago, you had that CD of all like the old like 1950s, 1960s
Yeah.
commercials.
Yeah.
And then there's one for Winston with the Flintstones, and they're
Yeah.
advertising. So it's like, what the hell?
Comic strip with a guy smoking, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Flintstones.
Yeah.
And
I
then
can't remember was
for the-
banned first off TV, cigarettes or alcohol.
Alcohol's
You
still
know-
advertised on TV.
Not hard alcohol.
Yeah.
no, it's just the
vodka,
light stuff. It's
spirits.
just Bush.
Maybe you can't drink it. You don't want to be in.
Yeah, you can't show it being drunk, but you can still.
I will
like,
say, NASCAR still has beer sponsors in the sport.
Yeah, no, he's talking about actual like
Not very
TV
many.
advertising.
Or I
for
mean,
commercials.
yeah,
Like. which
yeah.
there
No, they
are,
also
like,
they also do commercials.
Yeah. No,
I was say
alcohol's
they don't
never,
run very many, but they have.
Yeah. No, alcohol's not banned. Drinking alcohol is showing that, that I
Right.
believe that's not allowed. But there are,
Say.
advertisements for alcohol is still allowed. So.
I think it was 2017 where Bud Light was the most commercialized beer. because they were spamming it. They were just nonstop Bud Light commercials there for the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like they were just
tend to do
making
that.
so many.
Yeah.
The dilly dilly thing.
Yeah, for legal reasons, we have to say don't drink before you drive in the NASCAR.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's NASCAR. That rule doesn't apply to them.
In in 1972, Burt Bacharach, however you pronounce him,
You
and
nailed
Hal David's musical. What?
it. You nailed it.
Oh, okay. And Hal David's musical Promises, based on the 1960 Billy Wilder film The Apartment, closes at Schubert Theater, New York City after 1,281 performances, winning Grammy and 2 Tony Awards.
Damn, that's a lot of performances. Holy crap, bro. Dang.
Jeez.
And Uno Mas, Mr. Blood?
All right, as you wish. In 1973, West African. One moment. West African Economic Community formed. It included Benin, Ivory Coast, Mali, Mauritania, Niger, Senegal, and Upper Volta.
Nice. So
I never heard
we're
of
starting
that.
to like unionize, like or like, unite
So
and
we
stuff.
talking a new country here?
No, it's like a UN type thing.
Oh, okay.
Like the
Okay.
the West African Economic Community.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So-
Okay.
Oh yeah, Upper Volta now is Burkina Faso.
Huh. All right. 1 year later, in 1974, we have the Australian Open's men's tennis. U.S. Citizen Jimmy Connors won his only Australian title, defeated home favorite Phil Dent 7-6, 6-4, 4-6, 6-3.
You forgot to give us a blindy.
Well, I was just getting to that. I was just getting to that, mate. I mean, I was going to say, look at his
Crikey.
face. It's going crikey. Bloomin' onion, my friend.
Onions.
Onions.
I'm a goddamn onion mason.
I'm a Mason onion. But in the
I'm a
1974 as
Mason
well,
onion.
Lee McPhail took over as AL president of American League, succeeding Joe Cronin. That's a bad last name, McPhail.
McPhail.
Like McFaul? I don't know. Like I wouldn't
McPhail.
want that. We also have in
McPhail.
1974, NBC Radio began on the hour news 24 hours a day following CBS lead. You're talking about that with
CNN.
Ted Turner.
Yeah.
They're calling him a madman. What are you doing?
Yeah, they're
24-hour
crazy.
news? Are you insane?
You're gonna go bro.
Yeah. Let's
Kettles.
yeah. Oh, here we go. Here's a grumpy-looking guy. For Brados. Although you're,
Oh,
yeah,
oh, he's a grump. He's a real grump.
yep.
Grumpy Wumpus Woo. 1975, H.R. Haldeman, Ehrlichman, Mitchell, and Mardian convicted of Watergate crimes.
Watergate.
Yep.
Watergate.
Yep. H.R. Haldeman being the Nixon's White House chief of staff, and he resigned from the position during the things, but and he was convicted. So yeah.
It's pretty much useless. It's pretty much pointless. Ooh.
Circles are pointless.
After 45 years in the year 1976 of coaching,
Yeah.
Paul Brown, he was the coach of the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals, announces his retirement from the National Football League.
He
Dang.
coached forever. Well, 45 years. Yeah.
And I will say, the Bengals hold the record for the fastest rebuild in history. And last year was the fastest rebuild ever.
Dang.
Yep.
Then Blob gets to talk about the Liberty Bell.
Right.
Ah.
In 1976, the Liberty Bell moves to its new home across the street from Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Ah. So all right. So it's stored somewhere else.
All right.
It's at the two. That's at the bicentennial.
Yes.
Yeah, 200 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And then here we go.
In 1977, the first woman was formally ordained as an Episcopal priest. It was Jacqueline Means,
That's cool.
or Mea, I don't know.
So first female priest for that.
Episcopalian.
Yeah.
Yes. And also in 1977, Czech intellects begin the Human Rights Group Chapter 77.
Huh.
And Chapter 77, after the fall of the Soviet Union, after the dissolution of Czechoslovakia, they mostly became very influential people.
Okay, so this is, it says here, Charter 77 criticized the government for failing to implement the human rights provisions of a number of documents it had signed, including the 1960 Constitution of Czechoslovakia, the final act of the 1975 Conference on Security and Cooperation in Europe, Basket 3 of the Helsinki Accords, and the 1966 United, where is it here? 1966 something. I'll post a link to this in the underbar here. So
after the Velvet Revolution in 1989, many of the members of the initiative played important roles in Czech and Slovak politics.
We have an AFC Championship 1 year later in 1978. Mile High Stadium in Denver. The Denver Broncos defeated the Oakland Raiders 20-17. That's a tight game.
Broncos country! Yes, sir!
That has to be when the front line of the Denver Broncos was called the Orange Crush.
Huh.
Oh, yeah. Best O-line. It's one of the best O-line. Not the best O-line, but one of the best ever.
The Rams had a great one, too. Fearsome Foursome. Quite a bit earlier.
So did the...
Then there was the Vikings, Purple People Eaters. They were great,
I've heard of
And
those.
so did the Dolphins, which was an unnamed one. They didn't have a name
That's
for
right.
the
you're
undefeated one.
absolutely right. Yep. Forgot
It was-
about them.
It was one of the ones that flew under the radar, despite being the only one that never lost a game.
Yeah, I remember that season.
Yep, the old 20-0
Really
team.
wanted them to lose, too. Didn't happen.
Well, speaking of losing, kind of dark here, we have 213 people lost their lives at the same time as this was happening, the sports thing, when Air India B-747 exploded near Bombay. Dang. So, sorry to drag the moon down, but yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Oh, there was another NFC thing. If you scroll up. Where there was one. Oh, yeah, that's... Okay. Yeah, 19...
You want to take this, Brados?
Yeah, I'll take it real quick.
Go for it.
Yeah, in 1978, the NFC Championship at Texas Stadium, Irving, Dallas Cowboys beat the Minnesota Vikings 23-6.
Ouch.
Oh wait, that was building up to the Cowboys Broncos Super Bowl. Yeah, that was building up to the one where Denver lost. But by record, we still owned them because we have a 9-5 record against the Cowboys. And the last time we played them, we just put them through a thrashing.
Are you trying to put a spin on a loss? Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just stating the truth. We had a cruddy offense, and we managed to put up 30 points against them. And they have a good defense, so I will say they have a very good defense.
And
Anywho, I'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna
do the split here. Another split here.
that's what I wanted to say.
Pardon me. Welcome to part 3. We are going to move on up here to 1980. The comic strip The Far Side by Gary Larson debuted in the San Francisco Chronicle, and I really enjoyed that comic. It was really
I
cool.
would have thought it was older than that.
No, apparently not.
Yeah.
So, well, it debuted. Well, yeah, no, debut is when it started. So, yeah.
Well,
You know what?
well, as a comic strip, well, yeah, I guess so.
When was The Far Side created? The Far Side. Launch date December 31st, 1979. So 1980, January 1st.
So it's a comic strip is when
Yeah.
it got its debut in 1980.
Yeah, but that was
4
just
years
yesterday.
later. Yeah, 4 years later.
No, 79, 1980.
Oh, I thought it was 76. Okay,
No,
yeah,
I said
same time.
its launch date December 31st, 1979.
Okay.
So then the next day it was.
Yeah.
So that's when they launched it. Then they published it, printed it. So. But then we also let's move on to Vlog. That was I think I did my 3. So let's see here. What do we have here? 1983 maybe? Nope, we have an 81.
81, yes. Peruvian novelist Mario Vargas Llosa publishes his historical novel The War of the End of the World.
That sounds ominous. Oh.
Yes. In 1982, Peru's Javier Pérez de Cuellar becomes the fifth Secretary General of the United Nations.
No. All right.
And on the same day, in 1982, Pope John Paul II prays for an end to martial law in Poland.
Ah.
He was Polish.
Yeah. Well, that was when it was under the USSR
Yeah.
at that time.
Of course,
So.
yeah.
He was Karol Wojtyla from Poland before he became Pope John Paul II.
Yep. We also have in 1983, TCP/IP protocols became the only approved protocol on the ARPANET, replacing the early NPC protocol. The ARPANET being, of course, the predecessor to the World Wide Web, I believe, the Internet. So.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the U.S.
Yes.
Advanced Research Project Agency Network, ARPANET, was the first public packed switch computer network. It was first used in 1969 and finally decommissioned in 1989. ARPANET's main use was for academic and research purposes. Yes, so this was the predecessor of the Internet. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Goes back to 69,
Yeah.
was it?
yeah. So, and we also have in 1985, the first British mobile phone call was made by Ernie Weiss to Vodafone. So, British mobile phone. Look at that.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? The Verizon guy who switched to AT&T or something. Yeah.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah. Then going back to Blob, talked about the internet a little bit more here. Blob?
In 1985, the Internet's domain name system is created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's what you're saying, yeah.
well, what is the domain name system? That's for the actual, like, URLs, right? Like, not the www, which stands for World Wide Web, and then the .com, which, I don't know, commercial?
If you enter any arbitrary signs into your browser bar, it will send you to the correct IP and configuration.
It says here the domain name system is a hierarchical and distributed naming system for computers, services, and other resources in the internet or other internet protocol networks. It associates various information with domain names assigned to each of the associated entities. So, yeah.
It's essentially the telephone book of the internet. Like,
That's a good way to put it.
if you enter www.onthisday.com, that's not a valid address to go to, so it looks up where that should actually go to, and then it sends you there.
Yeah.
Like the IP address, and
Mm-hmm. Yep. But hey, we were talking about automobile laws a couple hours ago. Well, about an hour or so ago.
Yes. And we have in 1985 also the United States' first mandatory seatbelt law goes into effect in New York.
Yep. That was back when they only had belt laps.
Yeah.
Like, you remember when they made that switch?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You were 10 years old. No, 9.
What are you talking about? 85?
Oh, 85. No, never.
That's New York. They were
Okay.
in California way before that.
Yeah. Well, so I for some reason I thought 55. So you were in your 30s or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But bell laws were in California way before that. I know that.
Well, I guess this is a mandatory though. Like.
Mandatory laws were
Yeah.
in California. These are state laws.
Ah.
Federal laws.
Yes, that's what I said.
Alright, anyway, we have some music history here. In 1986, U.S. singer Barbra Streisand and hairdresser/film producer John Peters' romantic relationship ended. Oh, okay. Why do we care? Why is it highlighted?
Great
Why
music.
do we care?
I have no clue.
No. I'm going to take this one here. 1986, Aruba, Bahama, oh, yeah, pretty ma, became independent from the neighbor island of Curacao. So, cool.
I had no idea. There
It's
you go. How about
Curacao.
that? Aruba became independent.
Yeah.
It is Curacao, not
Oh,
Curacao.
Curacao, sorry. But then in 1987, over 60 bodies were recovered in DuPont Plaza Hotel fire in Puerto Rico. We were talking about that hotel fire not too long ago, yeah.
60 bodies recovered. That's
Yeah.
not good.
No, not good at all. And then 1989, the first Hoffman Cup tennis in Perth, Helena Sukova and Miloslav Mekiv, the one inaugural event for Czechoslovakia, defeating Australian pair Henna Batalova and Pat Cash 6-2, 6-4 for a 2-0 victory. Nice.
Perth is in England, right?
Perth, no, I think it's in New South
Australia.
Wales, Australia.
Okay.
Where is Perth? So let's see here. Yeah, New South Wales,
Okay.
Western Australia, or yeah,
Good pull.
yeah, no, well, Western Australia, not New South Wales. Sorry, that's a different province, I think. I don't know. Anyway, back to Mr. Blob here in 1990.
All right, in 1990, we again have the Hopman Cup in tennis, probably the second one then in Perth. Arantxa Sanchez Vicario beats American Pam Shriver 6-3, 6-3 to clinch 2-1 win for Spain's first title.
All right, go Spain.
In 1990, Mitsuko Nishiwaki beats Nakano to become the Japan Women Wrestling Champ.
Cool.
Didn't know women.
And
were
in 1990, what you tried to say?
Oh, you said you didn't know women ever wrestled.
Yeah.
Of course they did.
That's why I added
Serious
this.
or-
To the,
Well, I mean, as far as legitimate
Professionally?
wrestling, yeah.
Yeah,
not-
well, yeah, I don't see why not. So,
No, well, they do now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently they have since the 90s.
and
I guess so.
probably earlier, who knows?
Yeah.
In 1991, a 5% sales tax on consumer goods and services goes into the effect in the United Socialist Soviet Republics, USSR.
Yep. And that sounds like capitalism to me. So,
Funny how it creeps in, huh?
yeah. We also have in 1991, Iraq rejected peace proposal from Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak. Mubarak, sorry. Mubarak. I can't pronounce it even when I'm corrected. Oh. But we also have in 1992, Boutros Ghali of Egypt began his term as the 6th Secretary General of the United Nations. All right. And we also have in 1992, the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic is renamed the Russian Federation, becoming the successor states to the Soviet Union. So, essentially
1 year.
70 years. So,
What?
essentially 70 years. Because in
Yeah.
1922, they were officially formed. You know, even though they started in
No.
1917, but they were officially formed in 1922.
Yeah.
And then 1992,
No.
70 years later, they're done. So,
They were formed in 1923.
oh, 23, okay.
Which would
Yeah.
be 70 years today.
No, 70 years today. So yeah, that would make them 69 years old when they collapsed. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was 1 year the collapse after the sales tax went into effect.
Yeah, the cigarette advertisements were banned in New York City's MTA, so Metro, I think. MTA.
Yeah.
1993.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Mayhaps.
Anyway, let's see
I
here.
think
1994.
MTA means metropolitan area.
Let's see here. New York's MTA. MTA. Subway. So yeah. So whatever. Yeah. Mass Transit Authority.
Yeah.
Okay, so no more cigarette advertisements in subway cars and such. All right.
Okay.
And now that Brados is back, if he wants, we have one in 1994. Yeah, here we go.
In the year 1994, Howard Stern's New Year's Eve beauty pageant.
Okay.
Okay.
Ah, Howie. Howie.
Ooh, I know about this one.
Also in 94, North American Free Trade Agreement, or the NAFTA, goes into effect.
Yeah. NAFTA.
NAFTA.
Yeah. So that encompasses Canada and Mexico, is
Yes,
primarily.
yes.
Yes. So North American free trade, trading freely between the three major nations and all of the other ones.
Yeah.
You know that.
Trump redid the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also in. Huh?
Oh, I was just I'm trying to find this 99 here. Euro. Here we go.
In the year 1999, 199, the euro currency is introduced.
Huh. Nice.
Yep, and that applied for the entire European Union. That's
Oh,
where
that
that's
was
used.
That was
Applied to,
definitely not.
the British pound at the time. They didn't
Yep.
join initially.
Yeah, it was.
What
They
were you
initially
saying, Bob?
didn't join. What was up, Bob?
That was definitely not nice that a euro currency was introduced.
Yeah, it got rid of the Deutschmark, it got rid of the franc, it got rid of the Italian, whatever they did.
But
So,
they're trying to compete more on a worldwide scale, like the U.S.
Yeah.
You know, just size
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
and interchange
Basically just
between them.
Europe's version of the dollar.
Yeah.
But speaking of money, Blob gets to talk about some more Euro stuff here.
Yes. Where?
2002.
2002, yes. Euro banknotes and coins become legal tender in 12 of the European Union's member states,
Oh, all right.
including Germany.
Yep. As you were saying. So.
Yeah. In 2004, in a vote of confidence, Pakistan General Pervez Musharraf wins 658 out of 1,170 votes in the Electoral College and is, quote, deemed to be elected, unquote, as president according to Pakistan's constitution, Article 41(8).
Yeah, Article 41, Section 8. But you missed another 2002 one here, in the open skies. You're ringing.
Yes, the Open Skies Mutual Surveillance Treaty, initially signed in 1992, officially comes into force.
And what is that? That sounds pretty ominous there. The treaty is designed to enhance mutual understanding and confidence by giving all participants, regardless of size, a direct role in gathering information about military forces and activities of concern to them. It entered into force on January 1st, 2002, as we just said, and currently has 34 party states, so it is an ongoing thing. So, for further reading on the subject matter, and I know we have kind of screwed the pooch, so to speak, with providing links for further things, because there's been a lot of things we've been looking up throughout these past 2 hours. But please refer to the underbar of the description below. Anyway, we shall continue on into 2007. Adam Air Flight 574 disappeared over Indonesia with 102 people on board. So just zip gone. That's not good. So. We also have 2009, 61 people died in a nightclub fire in Bangkok, Thailand. That's very not good. And there's a lot of jokes I can make there, but I refuse to, for the sanity of the show. So.
Taiwan.
Yeah.
That's the only one I'm gonna make.
But we also have in 2010, a suicide car bomb detonated at a volleyball tournament in Laki Marat, Pakistan, killing 105 and injuring another 100 people. Dang.
Well, that's not very nice.
Yeah.
That's very mean.
That is not cool. That's not cash
What
money
a-
for them.
Yeah, what a doo-doo head.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's move on up
Then
into Mr. Brados. It's your turn again.
In the year 2013, Magnus Carlsen breaks Gary Kasparov's chess FIDE rating, reaching 2,861.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's the ELO rating of the International Chess Federation. That's the FIDE, FIDE. The Fédération Internationale des Échecs.
The FIDE. In the year 2013 as well, Phil Taylor claims his 16th and last PDC World Darts Championship title with a 7-4 victory over Dutchman Michael van Gerwen in the final in London.
Great guy. I mean, Michael van Gerwen. He's a personality. You know, if you see him once, you will recognize him always.
Yeah, well, speaking
That's
of
kinda like
Michael van Gerwen, you're going to talk about him one
Oh.
more time.
Interesting. In the year 2014, Dutchman Michael van Gerwen wins his first PDC World Darts Championship, beating Peter Wright of Scotland 7-4. First time no Englishman in the final.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yes.
Mr. Blob.
All right. In 2016, Dubai skyscraper The Address burns as the new year is rung in. The fire started on the 31st.
Oh, that's not a good way to enter the year, but jeez.
Yeah.
Burning for a year.
Yeah.
Bad joke to make,
God.
but that's pretty much what happened.
You are such Kratos. You are
I am-
being a dad joke man right now.
In 2017,
Go ahead. Sorry.
All right, in 2017, Portuguese politician and diplomat Antonio Guterres becomes the United Nations Secretary General, replacing South Korean Ban Ki-moon.
Ah.
Yeah, so the ban on the United Nations was lifted.
Yay.
And yes, in 2018, 16-time world darts champion Phil Taylor loses 7-2 to fellow Englishman Rob Cross in the final of his last world championship in London.
Oh, I'm going to take this one here. In 2018, California became the largest U.S. state to legalize cannabis for recreational use. Hey! Even though I do it medicinally, but still. Yeah.
California.
Sorry, I had to jump in there, Mr. Blob. So go ahead, take this other 2018 if you don't mind.
Yes, Iranian's President Hassan Rouhani says recent unrest, quote, is nothing, unquote, after 30 people killed in 5 days of anti-government demonstrations.
The recent unrest is nothing! It is nothing!
Yeah. That's just the same thing again. They had it twice. Apparently, the World Darts Championship.
That guy has a very well kept beard.
Yeah, that is a really good beard. So,
He took really good care of
looks
that.
very fluffy. So, kind of makes you want to pet it, right? But like, you know, the president of Iran, you don't want to pet the president of Iran. Sounds kind
Only
of,
Yeah,
you
no.
know?
The additional info there is that it was held in the Alexandra Palace in London.
More Rose Bowl.
2019, the 105th Rose Bowl. Number 5 Ohio State defeated number 9 Washington 28-23. That's close. Most valuable players is Dwayne Haskins, quarterback of Ohio State, and Brendan White, S.
Oh,
What's S?
regarding to Dwayne Haskins, R.I.P. dude. He died in a not very good way. It wasn't pleasant. He ran across the highway like a bonehead. I'm not trying to say that he was a bad dude. I'm not saying that he was.
Like
He was running across the highway for something, and a dump truck came out of nowhere and hit him.
Oh man.
Like it was rough.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. And the thing is, he was the future of the Steelers. He was supposed to be the future quarterback for the Steelers.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But this other guy, Brendan White, S. Ohio State. What is S?
He's safety.
Okay.
Yep, that's safety.
Yeah.
Safety.
So-
Safety. What are you going to say, Blob?
If you send him to a bank, is he a safety deposit?
Oh my god.
Oh my god,
What are you
dude,
doing, trying to get your
no.
quarterback?
Yeah.
Hey, they thought, hey, your mama's so stupid. She thought quarterback was a refund.
Well, that makes me look at the Buffalo Bills in a whole new way. We also have in 2019, Dutchman Michael Van Gerwen, talking about him again, wins his 3rd PDC World Darts Championship, defeating Englishman Michael Smith 7-3 at the Alexandria Palace in London. Alright. 2019, Jair Bolsonaro began his 4-year term as president of Brazil. 4 years, nice, okay. And then I'm going to take this last 2019, and Brados can bring this up. Actually, no, there's another 29. So, Brados, go ahead and start your turn here.
Alrighty, in 2019, level at 1-1 in the Hopman Cup tennis tie, Roger Federer and Serena Williams combined 43 major singles titles. Matchup in deciding mixed doubles with teammate Belinda Bencic. Federer wins 4-2, 4-3 for 2-1 Swiss victory over the U.S.
In 2019, here we go, Qatar.
Also, in 2019, Qatar introduces a 100% tax on alcohol and other health-damaging goods, doubling the price of alcohol, tobacco, energy drinks, and pork in the oil-rich, predominantly Muslim nation.
Well, that explains why you're asking that weird question earlier before the show, Blob. It's just like, what?
Yeah.
Also in Qatar of 2019. Also in 2019 in Qatar, they was withdrawn from the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, after 57 years of membership.
Oh man, OPEC. Dang, that's a woof. So.
Oh hey, there's another Rose Bowl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Actually, there's two more Rose Bowls.
Well, let's not talk about every Rose Bowl. We're actually. I don't think we're going to be doing births and deaths today. I'd like to end it here pretty soon here. So, yeah, in the show that is.
Yeah.
But Mr. Blob, go for it. 2020.
I'll take the last four. In 2020, Scotland's Peter Wright beats Dutch defending champion Michael van Gerwen 7-3 with 102.79 average, 30 times 140s and 11 maximums, that's 180s, and 53% on doubles to seal his first PDC World Darts Championship in London.
All right.
In 2022, the Chicago Bulls forward DeMar DeRozan becomes the first player in NBA history to hit buzzer beaters on consecutive days. He hit 3-pointers to beat Washington Wizards 120-119, and the previous night the Indiana Pacers with 108-106.
Wow, both were really close. So.
And also in 2022, we have huge news, the first episode of the OMNI Coalition's This Day in History show.
Yeah, in 2022. Well, not the very first one, but the first one on our attempt to do like an entire year-round one. But you have another one here in 2022 at that same time.
Oh, before you did the show, I thought it was the very first episode.
No.
Oh.
No, the very first episode was like, I don't know, back in between 2010 and 2015 when the show was its own thing, I think. Even before that, I don't know. Been a long time.
Yeah, where they were like 6 to 10 minute episodes.
Yeah.
Like the OG episodes.
In 2022, we have a state funeral in Cape Town, South Africa for anti-apartheid leader Archbishop Desmond Tutu.
Rest in peace, Tutu. So.
And in the year 6000, we will have the first reversible date since 11/11/1999.
Wow. So I lived through the previous one. That's pretty cool. Oh, wow, I'm one of the 6,000. I don't know, whatever.
So
anyway,
116,000.
Yep. Anyway, as I mentioned before, we are not going to be going into bursts and deaths. We've been going on for over 2 hours here, and it's probably going to be like 10 or so o'clock at night before this is actually going to be fully uploaded. So I do advise you to go check out the bursts and the deaths. Links to these will be in the underbar in the description below. Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, as I said, you can check the underbar in the description below for any links you will find interesting, including but not limited to all things OMNI Coalition. And I'm just going to double check to see, yep, I am caught up with my links. This is done. Anyway, for your dose of Advanced Events Daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific time. We were a little late today because it is New Year's and we did a 10-hour live stream yesterday and a whole bunch of stuff. It's been a wild weekend. Anyway, so it is 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, 11 Mountain, 12 Central.
And 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
As well as?
7 p.m. German time.
Yep. Which, as we discovered yesterday during the show, most of Europe is in the same time zone. And time zone is weird, that one. Anyway, for all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
I am the Slayer.
And I am Protoblob.
And you are you. And until you catch us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!
Toodles!